Okay, I hit record and it's working. So that's good. So I am here with Michelle, and she is intuitive, and I'll let her explain that to you. We go over many topics to talk about what spirits have to say on the other side. And we are here really, in essence, to just open that world up, right? And to teach and to let people. I'm the interviewer, and Michelle is the intuitive. So, Michelle, if you want to share just, a little bit about yourself.
Hello again. I am a medium. I am the voice for those who cannot be heard.
That's so beautiful. I love that so much.
It's just that simple.
Yeah, and I love that because here's the thing. I feel like people have a lot of questions about what does it mean to be intuitive. And I believe, based on my life experience, that there's been a lot of mockery and kind of throwing people that say they're intuitive under the bus because either people are afraid of it or they've been handled in a bad way by someone who has manipulated them, who is not truly speaking
Right.
to spirits on the other side.
Mhm.
So we're here to open up the window to that, to let people see how really truly beautiful it is and how that works. So as far as communication goes, Michelle, when you say that you're the voice of people, that can't, we can't hear because,
Right.
you know, I don't know that I've ever heard spirit speak directly to me, but I do know I have a very strong intuition. And that's probably spirit, because I have
That
moments of
is.
like, Melinda, you shouldn't, and I'm like,
Yes,
ah,
that is spirit going, hello.
yeah. And I
Pay
think as a
attention.
human here in this earth, because we haven't been taught to pay attention to that we
Right.
second guess it or we push it aside. So when you're communicating with spirit, can you share with everybody what that's like for you?
Sure. So when I communicate, it's all telepathic. It's all telepathy. So and it's visual for me, but it's in my mind's eye, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I hear it as, how do I explain this? So you know when you turn on a radio and an old school radio and
Sure.
you're adjusting,
Yep.
to break in the frequency that you can hear, the
Yes.
static in your. So for me, that's what it is. It's
Okay.
it's me dialing into their frequency,
Okay.
because we all vibrate on different frequency levels. So I can discern different frequency levels or vibrations. So
Okay.
some energies can come in and they're very high vibrating, which, they're very quick, fast talking, and I'll have to slow down their vibration so I can hear the words that they're
Ah,
speaking.
okay.
So every energy is different. Every
Okay.
energy presents itself differently. Every conversation is different. Just like when you have a conversation with me, it's different than you have a conversation with your daughter.
Yes.
Everybody vibrates differently. So that my job is to discern that vibration, connect, and be able to hear or see what they are trying to communicate to my client.
Okay. And then, so for people that are listening to this that say, well, I don't know if it's my intuition or if it's spirit, how would you explain to them to possibly open themselves up to be available to that?
Um, well, spirits are constantly trying to communicate, so never question that. I mean, that's a given.
Yeah.
It's up to you to pay attention. Spirit is very direct. I feel, people go, oh, I went to go to the store and I all of a sudden I got this overwhelming feeling like, no, just wait, wait 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, that's that spirit communicating to you to basically prevent something not nice happening,
Right.
or it is to kind of slow you down so that, let's just say, the person that you're supposed to meet will be there when you
Yeah.
finally get there, or you're delayed going to work, you're delayed. Well, guess what? Spirit just prevented you from having that accident that you see four cars in front of you.
Yes. Yes.
So it's feeling. It's all feeling. It's what you feel, and and everybody knows when you get anxious.
Yes.
That's fear. Okay. Yes. That is your body telling you fight or flight, fear, anxiety. Those are all feelings. That's your soul trying to show you something, or trying to give you a message. Be careful. If you're ever anxious about something, then something's not right or balanced.
Yes.
So that is God's given alarm system.
Yes. And I love that, because I believe my experience has been that the world we live in tells you to ignore that stuff, that it's just pooey, or, focus on what's concrete, what's in front of you, what you can see. And I feel like if we had honest conversations with other people in our life, which I know is hard for a lot of people, we would all admit that we have an intuition, we have gut feelings. So it's a matter of what you do with
what you do with it. That's right. We had talked about soul contracts in the previous. I just want to bring up something, because I know a lot of people have a hard time digesting that. Let's just bring up one. I just have to bring this up because this is what Spirit's nudging me to do. So who am I to say no?
Right.
But as far as soul contracts, if you ever notice, let's just say like the World Trade Centers, that whole mess that happened.
Yeah.
Now, it would be hard for humans to understand that every person that perished that day signed up for that day.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
And it's so hard for, mass shootings when there is so many people that perish in one scenario.
Yes.
Okay. It is hard for people to understand that every person that was involved in that situation signed up for that.
Yes.
And you'll have people, let's just say on the 9/11, right? The one gentleman, let's just say there was one gentleman, and he stopped to get coffee and donuts that morning, right?
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't in his contract to be in that building.
Yeah.
So intuitively, maybe he thought, well, I need to go, intuitively, his spirit sent him to get coffee so he wouldn't be in that building.
Right.
And
so, I find this so fascinating, because that is a big question people ask. Why? It seems unjust in our world. It seems extremely painful for the survivors. So I don't know, but I'm guessing based on your abilities, you've more than likely spoken to people that have passed.
Yes, I have.
Yes, because it was quite a worldwide event. So what did you learn from speaking to those spirits, as far as, once they were on the other side, like, did they leave before,
Yes.
building, those kinds of things? What did you learn?
Yes. A lot of the energies that I have encountered from 9/11 was that they did not perish the way that people think that they perished. Okay.
Yes.
And we've talked about this before, that it is just a matter of the soul leaving that body, not to experience that pain and suffering. It's more of a witnessing effect. I actually had read for a woman. It was so beautiful. Her husband had passed in 9/11, and he came through in her reading, and he kept talking about his wedding band, and he kept saying, I just, that was the most important thing for her to have, was my wedding band. And, I'm like thinking to myself as a human, well, God, how the hell are they going to find your wedding band,
Right.
And so I'm giving her the information, what he was saying to me. And during my sessions, I always have my eyes closed because it just helps me see better.
Yeah.
So I opened my eyes to look at her and continue the conversation. And in her hand, she had his wedding band, and she handed it to me. And it you could tell that it went through a lot, but they found his wedding band through all of that rubble.
Phenomenal.
And that was his, by his hand, that they found that wedding band for her.
Yes.
So
wow.
Nothing ever ceases to amaze me. Another scenario was with my son, and I want to share this with everybody because it really changed things for me at that moment in time when I found out that Jay was in the hospital. He ended up passing from a grand mal seizure.
Okay.
So when I got to the hospital, I was clueless to what was going on. I thought I was going to go to the hospital and he would be sitting up in the bed, Mom, I screwed up, the whole thing.
Right.
Well, I went into none of that. I went into my son on life support.
Oh.
And as soon as I walked in the room, I heard him say, Mom, 4:00, Mom. And I'm like, okay, so 4:00, you're going to wake up and your life is going to be good. And he just kept telling me 4:00, just be patient, 4:00. So 4:00 that afternoon rolls around, nothing. He's still not responsive. They have him heavily sedated. 4:00 in the morning, still nothing. They're processing his blood, trying to warm up his blood, get his brain functions going. Nothing. So now, the doctor comes in that morning about 10:00, and he basically tells me that there's no brain activity,
Okay.
So I keep hearing, Jay, 4:00, Mom, 4:00. So now I have to call the family and everybody to say their goodbyes.
Yeah.
And we're all standing around his bed, and all of a sudden, every machine in that room shut off. Everything went off. And I looked up at the clock. Now everybody knew about 4:00 because I had said 4:00, pay attention. Well, I don't know what it means, but, and we looked up at the clock and it was exactly 4:00. He shut everything off. He was like, Mom, I'm ready. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. He told me that he had a conversation with God. And he said that him and God had their conversation, and God said, Jay, you can go back and try to do this again.
Right.
Go through all of your pain and suffering and try to overcome this, or you can choose to come home.
Yeah.
And he said, Mom, I want to go home. Yeah. And that was it. So
that's so powerful.
Yeah.
That is so powerful. So at 4:00, when everything shut down, how did people respond to that? What did it feel like to be in the room at that moment? That's something that is otherworldly, obviously.
Yes. Well, the nurses ended up running in frantically, accusing us of who's unplugging machines.
Oh gosh.
And I kept saying, no, it's my son. He's done. He's ready. He wants to go. So, and everybody, we all knew that was Jay. He was just that powerful, he was just such a beautiful energy, and so everybody was fascinated because they got to witness what I live every day,
Yes. And as we struggle as humans with the loss of someone that we're used to having in our human life, did that give you a certain, because I don't want to assume, but did that give you a certain level of comfort?
No.
Thank you for saying that.
No, it did not. It was actually when Jay decided to leave this earth,
Yeah.
it flipped my world upside down.
Yes.
I questioned everything about my
Yes.
life, who I was, what I believed in. I went into a very dark place because
Yeah.
I thought, how can this happen?
Yeah.
How can this happen, especially to my son?
Right.
Like, how arrogant of me to think that, he was going to be saved on this. He was saved. He was saved from this life of cruelty,
Yeah.
that he was enduring. But yeah, no, I did not accept it well at all.
Yeah.
And the 2 days after he passed, I was going through his journals,
Okay.
trying to piece everything together, questioning, was I a good mother? You
Yep.
question everything. Did I do enough?
Yes.
And I was going through his journals and I heard him say, Mom, take a picture now. Take my picture now. So I grabbed my phone and I just started clicking my camera.
Okay.
And I went back and there he is, plain as day, sitting in the seat next to me, this beautiful orb that you cannot deny that
Yeah.
it was spirit, and he kept saying, I'm right here. I'm right here. And it took me a long time, and I still have my moments.
Of course.
I still have my moments. So I bear witness to people's pains and sufferings through
Yes.
the loss of their loved ones every day. And who am I to say, no, you can't grieve that way?
Right.
We all grieve differently.
Yes.
And even us light workers,
Yes.
we grieve too. And I'll tell you, our grief is probably a little bit deeper
Yeah.
because of our knowing,
Yes. Yes.
but
That makes sense to me. And I'm so glad that you're sharing this, because I think having the human existence, and for people that are unaware of, the potential and the spirits, we all grieve the human loss, right?
Yeah.
And then we all
Yes.
try to figure out, what do we do with our loss? How do we move forward from it? So it's so beautiful to hear that because of this experience, you're not belittling it and saying, oh, it was all beautiful and light, and I knew and I heard from him and everything was fine, because we're still human beings.
That's right. I am human. Yes.
Yes. And I think that is the miscommunication between intuitives, or people that are intuitive. Most of us aren't taught what that means. Or, I'm sure you've heard every joke or every comment about, oh, did you know I was calling? Or, oh, did
Yeah.
you know?
Or what you should give me the lottery numbers.
Yeah, give me the lottery numbers.
No, come on now. Do you think I would be like struggling here if I knew
Right.
the lottery numbers?
And that's so important for people to understand, that when you communicate with spirit shares with you what they can share with you. You don't know everything about the universe just because you're intuitive.
No, that is correct. I'm learning just as I learn every day I learn something new.
Yeah.
Every day. And I welcome that, because, got to keep feeding your soul to grow. You got to evolve. You can't stay stagnant. How are you, and I want to go back to say, I don't want to say struggle. I said,
Okay.
I don't want to say that, because
Okay.
that is a negative
Okay.
kind of thing to
Gotcha.
put out there. I don't want to say struggle.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I just want to squash that.
Yeah. No, I get it. I love what you just said. You've got to feed your soul to grow. I want people to really hear that.
Yes.
You've
You
got
have
to
to.
feed your soul to grow.
I'll share just another quick thing about Jason's passing.
Yes.
So my dad passed when he was very young. He was 45. He also struggled with alcoholism because of his gifts.
Yes.
Okay. So my father was very intuitive, but he was raised Greek Orthodox.
Okay.
And they thought he was, this evil monster. And he wasn't, but my father drank a lot, ended up killing himself.
Okay.
So after Jay passed, I kept hearing Jason say to me, Mom, grab your dad's Bible. I want you to go in your dad's Bible. And I'm like, come on, Jay. I haven't read the Bible in over 20 years, you know? And he's like, I need you to go in the Bible. I need you to go in the Bible. And he just, you know, Spirit is relentless. Okay. Yeah. Just so you know that if you don't do what Spirit asks you, they're going to just keep nagging and nagging. Yeah. Anyway. So I finally broke down. I went in, I got the Bible, and I'm going through first thing that falls out was this letter. Now, this is Mother's Day, okay?
Oh.
Okay, this is Mother's Day.
Okay.
So a letter falls out of the Bible, and I pick it up, and it was from this, my high school sweetheart's mother had sent me a card on Mother's Day. She passed, okay?
Okay.
So that's the first thing that fell out, was a happy Mother's Day from her. Okay. So beautiful. I thought, okay, Jay, you're telling me happy Mother's Day. Yes. Thank you. And then the next thing that falls out was a letter that my father had written.
Okay.
And are you ready for this, Melinda?
I don't know.
Okay. So my father had written this letter when he was in a motel room. Okay. In one of his darkest nights of the soul, I'm assuming. Well, my father was explaining how he was feeling at that moment in time. Okay. The pain that he was going through, the suffering, the alcoholism, the missing of his children, the love that he lost, just going on and on and on. And the letter was dated April 24th, 1987, I believe. I'll have to dig it out.
Okay.
At 5 something in the evening.
Okay.
Okay. Jason died April 24th, and they shut his machine off at 5 something in the evening. And my father described exactly what Jason was going through when he was on that bed in the hospital. Wow. Yeah, it is pretty, I was freaking out. And the most ironic part about that, Melinda, is that going back to the date when my father wrote that.
Yes.
It was on a Sunday. Okay. All those years ago. And Jason died on a Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, Michelle, there's so many things we don't pay attention to, right?
There's synchronicities.
I mean, people that are cynical would listen to that and go, oh, coincidence. Or here's the difference between people that are ready to grow and people that are just afraid or don't understand or don't want to know. Mm-hmm. Is how you respond to when you get information. Mm-hmm. That's high level, deep, beautiful gifts that you were given, even though it's painful.
Yes.
It's so incredibly beautiful that you were given the opportunity to have that experience where if you weren't open to it, mm-hmm. you would have never had that experience.
No, never. I would have never thought about going in that Bible. And, I had put that Bible to rest 20 years ago when my dad passed, 25 years ago. And I would never have gone in there. So it's listening. It's listening to what you're receiving intuitively. And that was my way of my father and my son comforting me at that moment in time. Yeah. What a gift,
Such a beautiful gift. Mm-hmm. Such a beautiful gift. Thank you for sharing that, because in this world, we're so busy. We're so loud. We're so distracted, right? Yeah. This last year with COVID, with the world, we've had many, many opportunities to see what's happening in the world, to see injustice in the world, to, feel others' pain, I think in a higher level than we've ever felt before. That's my personal
Yes.
opinion.
Empathy.
So along with that sharing of your dad and Jason, and I just feel so blessed. Thank you for sharing that story. I want to cry, but I'm going to keep it together. It's so powerful and beautiful. What lessons can we learn from what we're going through right now? How do we pay attention? How can we, for people that are hearing this and they're thinking, I want to grow, I want to hear, I want to be aware. What can you tell people?
Mhm. I would say the best way to do it is to educate yourself.
Okay.
It's being open-minded, it's not traveling just down one narrow road, open up your peripheral, open up your expand. It's about expansion. It's about, I'm telling you, if you want to travel this spiritual journey, if you want to find out what your purpose is, all you have to do is say, I'm ready. And I'm telling you, Melinda, everything will be put in place where it needs to be put in place. You really don't, all you have to do is be a willing participant.
Yes.
And not think that how this is going to unfold.
Yes.
I thought I knew how my life was going to unfold years ago. And Spirit's like, oh no, no. You have to go through this, and this, and this, and this.
Yes.
For you to get to where you think you need to be.
Yes.
So I would say to those who are really wanting to understand what their purpose is, or to start traveling down that spiritual road or journey, all you have to do is say, I'm ready. Lead me, guide me, and the right book will land in your lap.
Yes.
The right movie, the right YouTube channel, the right person. I'm telling you, that's just the nature of how it works.
Yes.
So,
and it's so beautiful too, because again, as humans, we like to make things complicated. We will get that inner voice and we'll say no to it. And then we'll make excuses about why things aren't working in our life. And really everything you said is so pure and so good. Open yourself up, be available. And I can attest to that as someone who spent a good majority of my life waiting to see what my environment was before I had any kind of a response. Right. I didn't take control of myself for a very long time. What I've learned along the way, once I was like, okay, I'm listening.
Yeah.
Boo, 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 boo. Explosion. My life, I moved, I changed jobs. And I took a path in my life that people in my world said, what are you doing?
Crazy?
You can't do that. I was told you're too old.
No.
Like, I'm too old to live my life. Are you kidding me? And what kept me sane on that path, Michelle, was, I spent some time with you. I listened. I paid attention. And whatever negative stuff came towards me from other humans that were saying, don't do this, I took it with a grain of salt, and I would just listen. And I would go way over here. And
yes.
I could not have imagined my life, Michelle. I couldn't have. Right. I wasn't capable of seeing how big my role could be.
That's right. That's the problem, Melinda, is everybody puts themselves in such a small little box,
Yeah.
And we're not that. As spirit, spirit wants to be free and experience, it doesn't want to be put in a small box.
No.
And I would say I had a client not too long ago, and things manifested for her very quickly.
Yeah.
And I love when that happens.
Yeah.
And I noticed that when things happen to people, like when I do a reading, and their loved one is sharing information with them, and then it happens like within the next day or two.
Sure.
Those are the energy, or the clients that are open to receiving.
Yes.
So it happens really quick.
Yes.
But I had a wonderful experience not too long ago with this beautiful young lady. She was battling panic attacks,
Okay.
severe anxiety,
Yeah.
which is fear-based. We
Yes.
go down that rabbit hole, and that's what causes it.
Yes.
That means you're not in alignment with what
Yes.
is rightfully true and just for you. If that's
Yes.
anxiety. Anyway, so she was struggling about anxiety and her job. And Spirit said to her, leave your job. There's something much bigger for you.
Okay.
But we get so fear-based about what are we going to do if it doesn't work? How am I going to afford this? Where's
Yes.
the money going to come from? I'm telling you, if you are doing something that you do not like, if it is causing you any kind of anxiety or health issues or anything like that, you're not supposed to be doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
There's something better and bigger for you. So that thing that you have in the back of your head that you've always wanted to do all your life,
Yes.
do it.
Do
Just
it.
do it.
Yes.
Because that is your soul telling you that's your calling. That is
Yes.
what you're being pulled to do. Why suppress it? Why live in that miserable job? I'm
Right.
telling you, the universe will bless you. Same with me with my
Yes.
readings.
Yes.
I always did them on the side. Everything was on the side, because I was raising 3 children by
Right.
myself. And, for the most part, I did raise my kids by myself.
Yeah.
And I was so afraid to leave my job because I
Yes.
needed the security to raise my kids.
Right.
But it haunted me.
Yep.
Here we are, Melinda.
Yes.
A leap of faith,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I have my own business now. My
Yes.
clients are, I took that, and I am supporting myself.
And you feel better, right?
It feels amazing.
Yeah.
It feels amazing, because I finally
Yes.
said, okay, I'm going to trust you. And
Yes.
here we are.
See, I think for this segment, the beautiful lesson is listen. Listen.
Yes, it is.
I mean, I know I've struggled with that definitely in my lifetime. I think we all do, because again, the control, we're trying to control, and we're afraid. I mean, I've talked to you about my fears. Like I'll have a momentary like, how? And then it's like, it's not my problem. It's not my problem.
That's right. That's right.
Let it go. So thank you so much. We want to remind anyone listening, we are here sharing our own experiences, and we want you to listen and to like and subscribe, as Michelle's going to continue teaching and sharing. So it's very important to us that you communicate with us. Let us know what kind of questions you have, and please like and subscribe so we can continue with these segments and share with the world.
Yes, get the world out. If you like and subscribe, that puts our video out for other people to see. So you're really helping the community by liking and subscribing. And I do want to say one more thing.
Yes.
I have this affirmation that I learned years ago, and maybe we'll touch on this story in another time, because this was a beautiful thing that the universe blessed me with. But there's this affirmation that I say quite often, and it is, and I want everybody to hear. I'll say it slow so you can say it to yourself, but hunches are my hounds from heaven. They lead me in the most perfect way.
That's nice.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's nice. I like that. Say it one more time for everybody. That's nice.
Hunches are our hounds from heaven. They lead us in the most perfect way.
And there it is.
There it is.
Thank you so much, Michelle. We look forward to the next session. And thank you, everyone, for listening. And we hope that this has opened up your world and made it brighter and better.
Yes. Have a beautiful day.